Have you ever found yourself taken aback by an instance of disrespect directed at you in the presence of others? Perhaps it was cloaked in humor. It is possible that they interjected while you were articulating your thoughts. Perhaps it was merely a fleeting look that rendered you insignificant. In that instant, did you find yourself immobilized? Did your voice fade away as your heartbeat quickened? Did you depart with a lingering contemplation? What compels me to permit this to recur? What account for the phenomenon where certain individuals naturally elicit respect, while others find themselves in a perpetual struggle to attain it? Let us consider the reality. Esteem, respect is not something that is freely bestowed, nor is it something that can be authentically compelled. It is experienced. One does not achieve understanding through the elevation of one's voice. One attains this by diminishing the necessity to validate anything. Your demeanor, your articulation, and your ability to maintain poise in the face of provocation reveal your understanding. In this video, we shall delve into 5 impactful psychological strategies that will enable you to cultivate a sense of quiet respect in any environment, not by means of coercion, but rather by the essence of one's being. These are not mere illusions. They represent a manifestation of more profound concepts, a sense of self-worth that operates independently of external validation. Before we commence, we invite you to subscribe to Deep Command Respect Psyche and engage with our Telegram community below for early access to videos and profound insights on boundaries, self-respect, and emotional mastery. Let us commence. Establish authority and garner respect within the initial moments. Respect is established well in advance of any verbal communication. Researchers at Princeton have found that individuals develop perceptions of your character and abilities within the initial second of an encounter. Moreover, the majority of it is conveyed through nonverbal means. This encompasses your posture, the quality of your eye contact, the physical space you occupy, and the ability to embrace silence without trepidation. When you're introduced to someone, it is advisable to refrain from greeting them while seated, if at all possible. Rise to your feet. Adjust your posture accordingly. Maintain a level posture. Your movements are deliberate and measured. Avoid directing your gaze towards their hand during the handshake. The slight downward gaze conveys a meaning, one that was never intended to be communicated. Proposition. Rather, allow your gaze to connect with theirs in a gentle manner. Not to contest their views, but to demonstrate your presence, to acknowledge their existence, and to engage authentically rather than performatively. Individuals often fail to appreciate the significance of noise. They hold a reverence for tranquility, for the reason that tranquility is uncommon. Stillness is a product of deliberate effort. Stillness signifies a departure from the pursuit of validation. 2. Disrupt the disruptor. Absence of coercion suggests that interruptions may not always occur by chance. At times, it manifests as a nuanced exercise of influence, a subconscious endeavor to regain authority, redirecting attention away from oneself. In such instances, the majority tend to either withdraw or attempt to dominate the conversation, speaking over the individual who has interrupted. Both represent errors in judgment. The most compelling reaction is to take a moment of silence. Approach the individual with composure. Gaze into their eyes with calmness, devoid of trepidation. Allow the silence to extend for a brief moment. Then articulate, "Allow me to complete that idea," or "May I take a moment to pause before continuing?" This does not constitute a confrontation. This represents a serene redirection. It conveys a subtle message. I remain unperturbed. I am not one to remain passive. I shall remain present. You have successfully asserted your presence in a manner that is both composed and non-confrontational. In that instant, all observers, whether aware or not, perceive a significant realization. Disperse. You maintain your position with conviction, not by means of coercion, but by the power of understanding. 3. Disperse public embarrassment with minimal discourse. A certain form of disrespect can often be cloaked in a facade of congeniality. It conceals itself within the guise of humor, often presented in the presence of an audience. The intent is subtle yet unmistakable: to induce discomfort, to diminish your stature, to elevate the speaker's position by undermining yours. What the majority tend to do is either join the laughter, remain silent, or respond with a counterattack. However, none of those are effective. Each individual relinquishes a certain aspect. Rather, consider undertaking this approach. Halt. Observe them closely. Consistent. Disruption of routine, not frigid. And inquire. Pardon me, could you reiterate that? That singular statement alters the entire perspective. You have successfully rendered the moment into a state of tranquility. At this moment, the audience is attentive. The palpable tension arises from the fact that the majority of individuals struggle to replicate a harsh jest on more than one occasion, not without it arriving in a different manner, not without disclosing its acrimony. You have not engaged in any form of retribution. You have yet to engage with their game. You have subtly presented them with a reflection, and they shall retain that in their memory. Thus, it is likely that all others will follow suit. 4. Neutralize provocation through the technique of pattern interruption. Certain individuals refrain from humor. They incite thought. They prod you with a veneer of irony. Subtly convey disparaging remarks. Articulate remarks that are likely to provoke discomfort. What is the rationale behind this inquiry? To immerse you in a state of emotional tumult. To induce a state of disarray within you, thereby allowing them to assume a position of authority. In such circumstances, one is presented with 3 alternatives. First, seize the opportunity. 2, withdraw into quietude. 3, or disrupt the sequence. Have you ever considered the intricacies of the coffee served here? Or perhaps you've noticed how peculiar the weather seems today. It may seem unusual, yet is not. This is a psychological technique known as pattern interruption, which proves effective as it disrupts their established narrative. They were prepared for a response. You provided them with tranquility. At this moment, it is they who find themselves in a state of imbalance. And those in your vicinity perceived an individual entirely adept at managing their emotional state. Such occurrences are uncommon, and rarity commands admiration. 5. Depart when. Depart from the situation, as mutual respect has become unattainable. Now we confront the most challenging reality. At times, neither a composed demeanor, nor a well-articulated statement, nor an astute reply can alter the prevailing dynamics, as certain individuals exhibit a disinterest in extending you the respect you deserve. They are committed to retaining it. In such instances, there remains but a singular course of action. Depart, not with anger, not with a bruised sense of self, but with lucidity. As therapist Nedra Glover Tawwab articulated, boundaries aren't about controlling others. They pertain to the safeguarding of your vitality. Departing from a situation does not signify a lack of strength. It is a profound command of the subject. It conveys to the world, I do not seek to plead for fundamental respect. That environment will undoubtedly sense your absence far more profoundly than it ever recognized your existence. At times, the power of silence conveys a deeper message than mere words can express. At times, the act of withdrawing can resonate more profoundly than any spoken word. Respect is not a commodity to be commanded. It is conveyed through demonstration, through the manner in which one conducts oneself, through the boundaries one accepts, and through the composure maintained amidst turmoil. These 5 strategies do not constitute mere tactics. They are manifestations of profound introspection. Upon entering with a sense of stability, one can reclaim their space with grace, mitigate humiliation without resorting to anger, abstain from contributing to chaos, and gracefully disengage from disrespect. Your presence conveys your essence to the world, requiring no amplification of sound. Should you have encountered a situation in which you were treated with disregard, yet chose to remain silent, or if you ultimately discovered your voice and transformed the atmosphere, please recount your experience in the comments. We acquire knowledge through our interactions with one another. If this video has facilitated a rediscovery of your inner self, the individual who commands the greatest respect in a gathering is the one who refrains from soliciting it.